All right, I'm here with Sandy Baruah, who is the CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Sandy, welcome to MiWeek.
Great to be here with you,
Absolutely. I know you were, of course, a Bush administration official. You worked in Washington for a long time. You've been an observer of these kind of national politics for a long time. I have not seen anything quite like this before. I'm curious if you have.
Sure, we have. Listen, I know people are really excited because, the polls seem to be tightening, but that's kind of natural. I mean, we're a polarized nation. The Democrats are the Democrats, the Republicans are the Democrats. We don't really talk anymore. So I'm not surprised that the polls are tightening. Obviously, the FBI news really kind of made that accelerated a little bit. But when you look at where this election is going to end up, it's going to end up on an electoral basis very close to the 2012 Obama re-election. It's going to be a slightly different mix of states. You're going to see Iowa potentially differently, North Carolina differently, maybe Ohio differently, but it's going to be about a 320, 335 electoral vote win for Secretary Clinton.
Yeah. The Trump phenomenon, which took over the Republican Party, which you worked in a Republican administration in Washington, seems like even no matter what happens tomorrow, it's not necessarily going to go away. There are a lot of lingering questions about what it means to be a Republican and what the party will stand for. Where does that all fall on your shoulders?
Well, for people like me, it means we start drinking more. I mean, for Republicans like me who are Jerry Ford, George W. Bush Republicans, we really don't have a home anymore. And so tomorrow morning when I vote in my precinct, I'm going to end up this election cycle exactly where I started it 2 years ago. I started it voting for Jeb Bush. I'm going to write Jeb Bush in tomorrow.
But I'm sure that will make a big difference on the final outcome, Sandy.
For me, Stephen,
right.
It will.
Right. Well, I actually think there's a lot of Republicans who feel that way. But going forward, what's the sort of recipe for reclaiming the party in that center that you're sort of more comfortable with?
So the Republican Party is going to go through a process very similar to what the Democrats went through kind of in the mid-'70s up until Clinton's election in the early 1990s. They were kind of in the wilderness, but they were strong on the congressional side. I continue to anticipate Republicans being strong on the congressional side, especially the way districts are drawn these days. But I think they're going to continue to struggle really for the next decade until they kind of find a new message, a new, what's their new Ronald Reagan message? What's their new unifying message? I mean, people forget when George W. Bush ran and won in both 2000 and 2004, he got over 44% of the Hispanic vote.
Hispanic vote, sure.
Right,
Yeah.
and that is not happening with Donald Trump this time around.
Yeah.
And that is the fastest growing demographic. And so when we were in the Bush administration, that was an audience that we were tending to and really looking for. We were actually doing that with African Americans as well too. Right. But the party's obviously lost that vision.
Got to get back there. All right. Sandy Baruah, CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Stephen.